I bet you don't know that in the Bible, there was a time God wanted to kill Moses. Yeah. So let's start from the very, 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 very beginning. You know, when God made a covenant with Abraham in Genesis, Abraham was to circumcise every male of his household. When Abraham received the covenant, he was 99 years old. And that very same day, Abraham came back home, called out all the males in his house, circumcised every single one of them, including Ishmael, the son of his wife's maid. You know, Ishmael was 13 then. And so when Isaac was born, 8 days after, Isaac was circumcised. So the age long tradition of circumcision began at 8 days old, a male child is circumcised. Notice that a covenant always has two parts. God will do his part, Abraham has to do his part. And Abraham's part was circumcision. And so Abraham and his lineage and everybody who came forth from him, the Hebrew, they began the practice, the culture of circumcising their males. That being established, Moses was born of Hebrew parents, definitely. So when Moses was born, I am almost certain that he was circumcised before he was dropped in the water, before the daughter of Pharaoh picked him up and, stuff like that. And so later on, Moses soon had a family of his own and he was serving his father in law, Jethro. Now, Moses had a wife, Zipporah, and he had two sons. And after his encounter with God in the burning bush, where God told him, "You will do this for me, you will do that, you will bring Israel out of Egypt, you will make Pharaoh to see the signs and the wonders of the God of Israel." Moses told God, "I don't know how to speak." God told him, "Aaron will be your spokesman," and all of that transpired. And so Moses returned to his um Moses returned to his father-in-law's house and said to his father-in-law, "I want to go to Egypt and see how things are going on with my brethren there." And so Jethro said to him, "Peace be with you." When Jethro said that to him, he carried his children, he carried Zipporah, his wife, and they mounted a donkey and began on their way to Egypt. Now, on the way to Egypt, Moses needed to rest for the night with his family in a hotel room, right? So they were in the hotel that night and God wanted to kill Moses. But then his wife did something very, very, very smart, very fast, and God's anger was turned away. It so happened that one of Moses' sons was not circumcised. This can be found in Exodus chapter 4. Yeah. One of Moses' sons was not circumcised. And so when God's anger arose against Moses, Amplified Classic Version of the Bible said that he became fatally ill to the point of death. And Zipporah noticed that this could be the reason. She was discerning enough, and she took a knife and cut off the foreskin of that her son's, then she dropped the foreskin on the feet of Moses. And so God's anger was turned away, and soon they continued on their way the next day. And this is because God is a respecter of covenant. No matter everything and anything that you've had with God, if you do not respect his covenants, if you do not respect what he has laid out for you, the consecrations, then you're very likely to get into trouble with God. But because Zipporah was discerning enough to know this could be the reason God wants to kill Moses, she took a knife, she cut off the foreskin, and Moses was saved that day. And so, first off, be discerning enough. Second off, keep to covenants and sacred practices. Very important. Thank you so much for watching. Have a beautiful new week.